Hi everyone, how's it going? I just wanted to talk. If you watched my power chord video, you'll remember me saying that you shouldn't really be worrying about open chords to start with. Now, open chords are really good, and they have a lot of uses. Features an awful lot of music, especially with an acoustic guitar player. But basically, there's no sort of way around them. But I will sort of try to, for explanation of my own sort of what I can't do. Hopefully, you'll understand sort of like how to get your chords down. Now, with regards to open chords, if I just sort of highlight what my improficiencies to start with, there's a chord in a Led Zeppelin song which sounds like this, which is a really nice sounding chord. But you see how long it took me to put my fingers down on that chord. Like, my finding time on that chord is probably about half a second, okay? Now, the reason that's important is because if I was in a Led Zeppelin cover band, I would just have to have that chord down, and I'd have to practice getting that chord down. So you may find that, say, for example, you've got a chord and you find it, or you find a chord tricky with that sort of placement like I'm doing with that one. Now, what you need to do is to get better at that, is to put your hands down and then basically release your hands to that point and then put your hands again, and then release your hands down to that point and put it again. And I'm already getting slightly quicker. Again, it needs a little bit more work, okay? But that's the most important thing about open chords. Like, you can spend, like, when you first start, it doesn't matter if you're trying to play a C chord and you're going there and then there and then there, and it might sound like, and some of the strings might not ring out or something like that, okay? But eventually, if you play every single note, you should get that chord down just like that, okay? Now, I am a self-taught guitar player, and when I first learned some of the chords, I learned them in different ways, and I'll just sort of explain, go through quickly the chords that you need to know, okay? So basically, C to start with, as already demoed. Then we need to know D major and D minor. Sorry, that was D7, D minor. And then we need to know E minor, E major. Now, F is one that comes up a lot. Easy F looks a bit like a C, but it's only the middle 4 strings, okay? So what you really want to do is practice going from that E major without your first finger, and then being able to slide that up to a full F major. And then you also, from there, you'd have F minor, but I'll go through bar chords in another lesson. Then you've got G. Now, G is a really interesting one because when I learned G, I always played it like this, because I just think it sounds good, I think it sounds strong and fat. Now, strictly speaking, that's a G5 chord, the way I'm playing it. There's no third there, but to my ear, it still sounds major. The reason I like to play it like that is that the books will tell you to play it like this. But this part at the bottom, I find really mushy having that at the bottom, so I like to negate that and just play it there. So that's G. Don't worry about G minor for the moment. And then you've got A minor, and then you'll also probably have B minor and B major, but they are both bar chords as well. I'll do bar chords in another lesson. So what I would say is that with regards to chord fluency and stuff like that, you want to work on just those open chords and just practicing going between them. Like, there are a few songs like, Bob Dylan songs or whatever, stuff like that, or tons of songs which use 3 chords, like, and all that sort of stuff, which is great. But basically what's really important is that you're practicing switching between those. You should be able to do that just with your left hand, just really fluently. The other little cheat as well, which I sometimes explain to people, is that because we're trying to keep a really strong rhythm, it doesn't matter if for a second, and for an upstroke, for example, you get ringing out. If you play all that open strings, it sounds horrible, okay? But if you go, now I'm trying to emphasize that, so the human ear sort of forgives the fact that you're changing chords. So even when you're changing chords, you don't have to be super lightning quick. You can afford to have those sort of upstrokes in there, but just make sure that you're sort of real comfortable, sort of like with what your right hand doing is what your rhythm and stuff and everything like that. Loads and loads of rhythm exercises. Like if you're a real simple one, I'd go down, 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 up, and just make sure you got that. So. do that so like, you know, your eyes are closed and whatever, and then just practice like transitioning between chords. If you know 2 chords, play those 2 chords. So, and then yeah, all this kind of stuff like takes time and everything like that. Like, you know, I'm someone as well who watches YouTube videos and thinks to himself, oh yeah, that looks quite easy, and then actually it's not. Like, if you want to get good on the guitar, if you want to get good at anything, you just basically need to sit down and practice it, and just little and often. Like, you know, the other thing as well to mention is just to get calluses on your fingers. When you first start the guitar, it really, really hurts your fingertips. But eventually you'll get some hard skin and it won't hurt when you play. The more you play, the better you get, but it's just like anything. So yeah, that's my little lesson on open chords.